Monday, friends. This is Miss Hedstrom here with your reading lesson. This week we are going to continue working with cause and effect. So the first thing that I want us to do is think about our rules at home and school. So if you had done the Flex Board Week 3 activity under reading, you were doing just this. So you already have a jump start. So when I think about rules that I have either at home or at school, one of the first ones that come to mind is no running inside. I feel like I tell my kids this every single day. And at school, we usually don't say don't run, we say use your walking feet, but same thing. Another rule that comes to mind is pay attention. Also, this is a rule that I have at home too. I'm often telling my daughter, don't just listen to what I'm saying. I want you to think about it. Pay attention to what is happening. Keeping your hands to yourself. Very important for both at home and school. You wait your turn. At home, not so much, but it's still, good etiquette to wait your turn, but it's very important at school. Wearing a helmet. Now, this is not a rule for school, but it is a rule in my house when you are riding your bike or your scooter or rollerblading. You only get one brain. You need to protect it. And be nice. This is very important both at home and at school, especially when I'm at home after being at school all day. And throw your trash in the trash can. The floor is not a garbage. And if we don't put it in the trash can, it piles up rather quickly. If you are in my class, you hear me say that a lot. Now, when I'm looking at this list, I know that there are so many more rules for either at home or at school. And if we were in person, I'm sure we would have rules about specific sports. We'd have rules about standing in line or rules at lunch. We'd have rules about, all kinds of different rules. But we're not at school right now, at least not in the building. And so for simplicity's sake, again, since I'm the only one talking, we're going to use my list. So as I look at these different rules, I notice that some of them are similar in a way, or I could kind of group them together. And looking at no running inside, paying attention, keeping your hands safe, wearing a helmet, those are all things that keep you safe. And now, that says pat attention. Someone might say paying attention doesn't keep you safe, but it does, especially if you're outside on your bike or walking on the street. If you're not paying attention, you might crash into someone, you might get hit by a car, you might run into something. No joke, I actually one time as a kid ran into a parked car. I know that is something that people joke about, but it's true. I was looking behind me talking to my friend and boom, I ran into the car. So, looking over here at our list, I've taken these 4 rules and I've grouped them together and I'm labeling them safety rules because those are all rules that help keep us safe. These, wait your turn and be nice, those rules are similar in that they help us play fair. And when you're playing fair, you don't have as much arguing. So think about our workplaces or recess or gym class. Being nice and waiting your turn are extremely important. And the last rule that I have here is throw your trash in the trash can. And that rule has to do with taking care of our earth. And that is actually not just a rule, it's a law. When you get older, if you are throwing trash on the ground and you get busted, you actually have to pay a fine. So, taking care of our earth, fair play, and safety. Those are kind of the 3 categories that we are going to be talking about. And the whole reason we're talking about rules at home and school is because this week we are going to be reading a book about rules. And if we were in the classroom this week, this would be our big book. The book that we read the second week of our unit. So this book is called Why Do We Have Rules? And I notice here that the author gave us a picture of some family members biking. Also, there's some what appears to be signs that says safety first, wear your safety glasses, do not enter, caution with a little man in a triangle falling down, no swimming. So, looking at my table of contents, I noticed that my first part of the story is going to be words to think about, then the introduction, and that's on page 4. Chapter 1, rules that keep us safe, that's going to be on page 6. Chapter 2, rules for fair play, page 10. Chapter 3, rules to care for Earth, page 12. Conclusion, and then glossary and index. Now, today we are going to look at the words we need to know or think about, our introduction, and we are just going to look at chapter 1. We'll do the other chapters later this week. But it's important to read your table of contents so your brain's already thinking about the things you might learn about. Start making those connections. We just did a pre-reading activity, so your brain should be ready to think about rules that keep us safe. So, some words that we need to know. Citizens. Good citizens follow rules about walking. And a citizen is somebody that lives in an area. Wherever you live, you are a citizen of that area. So if you live in Brooklyn Park, you are a citizen of Brooklyn Park. Since we all live in Minnesota, we are all citizens of Minnesota. Community. People live, work, and play in this community. And this was one of our social studies words that we studied a lot back in, I believe it was chapter 1 of social studies. Community is where you live, work, and play. So again, our community would be, for most of us, Brooklyn Park. Fairness. Whoops, don't want that to show up. You show fairness by waiting your turn. And fairness, it means being fair. Laws. These signs show the laws in a community. So the laws are the rule, kind of like the rules you need to follow. Rules. Rules help you know what to do. And then we have the word safe. Wearing a helmet keeps your head safe. Introduction. Rules are very important. Rules help people understand what they should and shouldn't do. You follow rules every day. All good citizens or members of a community follow the rules. In this book, you will learn about how rules help people. Now, down here I have some captions, and of course that little bar is going to show up. The first caption is for this picture on the left. It says, "You follow rules when you play a sport." This caption down here for the middle picture says, "These good citizens follow rules about when to walk." It looks like they're going to or from school. And people who throw trash on the ground can get in trouble. Now, when we were talking about citizens and community, I talked about how you are a citizen of a community, you are a citizen of an area, and that same area happened to be your community. Now, when we look here, all good citizens, comma, or members of a community. Remember that comma or is telling you that they're giving you a definition. So in this case, they're saying citizens or members of a community are synonyms. They mean the same thing. I keep wanting to turn the page. I forget I'm not on my big book. Chapter 1, rules that keep us safe. When you get in a car, you put on your seatbelt. You know that wearing your seatbelt can keep you safe. Wearing a seatbelt is also a rule. Your community made this rule to keep you safe. And then I'm not going to point to it because I don't want that little bar to pop up, but way down on the bottom there, you'll see that there's a caption in blue. It says, "These signs help people stay safe." So I look at the sidebar on the right, and I see those two girls wearing a seatbelt to help them stay safe. I see the middle picture in that sidebar, and it looks like those children are wearing life jackets to help them keep safe. And then the friends on the bottom are wearing helmets to keep them safe. The rules your community makes are laws. If you don't follow the laws, you can get in trouble. I'm going to read the caption on the bottom of page 8 there. When you speed, you can get a ticket. Speeding is dangerous. Now, I'm going to come back up here. The difference between a rule and a law. A law is a rule that your community makes. So laws are rules. They're just bigger rules that everyone in the community has to make. Whereas a rule, say in our classroom, might be different in my classroom than Mr. Ratter's classroom. Or a rule in my house might be different than a rule in your house. But no matter what classroom or house we're in, we all have to follow the laws. Who makes the rules? Parents make rules at home. Sometimes children help their parents make the rules. The principal and teachers make the rules at school. Sometimes students help their teachers make the rules. And people in state government make the rules for the state. Citizens help make these rules too. And you know that whatever class you were in, you and your teacher helped to make the rules of that class. I think we have one more page here. Nope, that's our last one. Okay, so like I said, we're working on cause and effect this week. Again, so just a reminder, a cause is what happens first to make something or this happen second. So the cause is the why, the effect is what happened. So if I'm looking at this first page here, which is page 4 and 5, and I'm looking for a cause and effect, I'm going to reread it here. Rules are very important. Rules help people understand what they should and shouldn't do. So that part that I circled right there is telling me that rules are my cause, and the effect of those rules are so that people know what they should and shouldn't do. So cause is rules, the effect so people know what to do or don't do. So without the rules, people wouldn't know that. But the rules make this happen. Now, your job today in Seesaw is going to be finding cause and effect for page 6 and 7 and 8 and 9. So I've already read these pages to you. There are more than one cause and effect per page or per page set or set pages. You just need to list one. What is the cause and what is the effect of that cause? This is what page 6 and 7 look like. This is what page 8 and 9. And these two pages, this one along with this one, will be your template in Seesaw so that you will be filling out this part in Seesaw. That's what your teacher will be looking for. So one cause and effect from each page. When you are done filling that out, I recommend using the text box feature. It just makes it easier, and I find that there's less problems if you're using the text box and typing your answer. So once you fill that out, click the check mark and turn it into your teacher. Tomorrow, we will be looking at chapter 2. Have a wonderful night, friends.